Hello students. Today we are going to discuss about the Python programming user-defined functions. A function is a block of organized reusable code that is used to perform a single related action. Functions provide modularity, reusability, and organization to your code. Functions provide a high degree of code reusing and hence less development time. Debugging also becomes easy as you can easily trace where the error is coming from. This is the basic structure of a function in Python programming. As you can see, it will start with def keyword. Then we write the name of the function, which is my function here. Then we are going to give parameters inside this bracket, followed by a colon. Then we write the function body. And afterwards you can return some value from that function. Here we have called the function. This is the basic structure. Coming to specifically the user-defined function, the user-defined functions in Python are functions that you create yourself to perform specific tasks according to your needs. They allow you to encapsulate a block of code into a reusable unit, making your code more organized and modular. As we have already discussed, here is the structure of a function. Okay, so this def is a keyword which is used to define a function. Function name here is your function name. You can choose it according to your wish. Here are the parameters. Then we have all the statements which we are writing inside that function. Then we have the return expression. So we can also skip the return. Okay, return can be there without an expression, without with no arguments in that. Here is a simple example of user defined function. So as you can see, we have started with the keyword def. We have given the name of the function and name is the parameter here. We have returned hello, then plus name plus exclamation mark. While calling that function, we wrote message equal to greet, that is the function name, and Alice is the string which we are passing as the argument. So this Alice will go here. So name is Alice now. So what is the output here? That is hello, comma, then Alice, then exclamation mark. That is what we have printed here. Talking about passing of the arguments. So when the user-defined function is called, values are transferred from calling function to called function. These values are called as arguments. Arguments can be basically of four types in Python: required arguments, keyword arguments, default arguments, and variable length arguments. We will discuss this one by one. First, we are coming to the required argument values. Required argument values, they are necessary for any function call. So first let us see the example once. As we can see here, this is our function. Okay, so def is the keyword, sum is the name of the function, a and b are the two arguments. Now the argument which is written at first without any values, that is actually called the required argument, and b has a default value here, so it is called the default argument. Normally in Python, first we write the required argument, then we write the default argument. So what is this particular program doing? We have defined a function here. We are returning a plus b. While calling the function, students, just note here, first time we have called the function with two arguments. In this case, what happens is that a is 10 and b is 20. If you are passing two arguments, this 10 value is overridden by 20. So what is the output now? A plus b will be 10 plus 20, that is 30. In the second and third cases, since we have not passed the second argument here, there is only one argument. In this case, it will be taken as the required argument. So here 20, 10 both are the required argument, that is A. Now that we have understood the value of required argument, we will go to the next type, that is default argument, which we have already discussed once in the previous example. So this argument that assumes a default value if value is not provided in the function call for that argument. The default value will be evaluated only once. So what is happening in this program? We have a function called function1. You can see this is the required argument, that is A, and B is the default argument. So what are we doing? We are printing A and B. First time, as you can see, we have passed a value for A, we have passed a value for B also. In this case, what happens is that this value 50 overrides 10 here. That is why Monica 50 is printed. Okay, so a similar program has already been discussed before, right? So when the value of B is not passed, then it takes the default value. Okay, next we come to the keyword arguments. Now keyword arguments are related to the function calls. Using it in a function call, the caller can identify the arguments by the parameter names. It allows to skip the arguments or place them out of order, and Python interpreter uses the keywords provided to match the values with the parameters here. Okay, we will see a program. So what happens here is that we have taken a function called function1, which has date and year as the two arguments, and we are printing it. It's a very simple program, right? What is unique here? When we are calling function1, if you note, we have also used the argument names and we have changed the order. What is the meaning of that? See, year has come first, date has come next. Okay. Normally what do? We have studied from the beginning that the order of the arguments should match. Okay, when we are calling the any function, the order of the arguments which we use in that function call should match with the arguments which we used, same order which we used during the definition of that function while defining that function. But here you see, students, it's like reversed here. So here has been this argument has been passed first, then we have passed date. So if you are using the keywords, the argument keywords here, then you can even reverse the order. So what is the advantage here? There's no need to remember the exact order which you used while writing a function. The next argument type which we are studying here is the arbitrary argument list. Variable argument list. So more arguments than we specified while defining a function. These arguments are also called variable length arguments. An asterisk or star is placed before the variable name that holds the value of all the non-keyword variable arguments. This tuple remains empty if no additional arguments are specified. We will see an example. This is the general syntax of it. So what is different here? You can see these are the formal arguments and these are the arbitrary arguments which we have used with the star in front. So it will be more clear if we are understanding it with the help of an example. What is happening here? We wrote name, comma, then star value. What is star value here? This value, this is actually the arbitrary argument list. So more than one arguments can be passed. Okay. What are we doing here? We have printed, the output is name and then we have printed value. Okay. Note, okay. Please note here, first time when we are calling the function, what did we do? We have only used 45. Okay. What happens? This 45, actually the name will take the value 45 here. Okay, when we are printing, it will be like print name. So it will be like 45. And what about value? Value is null here. Okay, it does not have any value really. So it is null. So it is like this is empty. Okay. What about the second time? Second time when we are calling the function, we have called with multiple values. So 56 is taken as the name. Rest of the values, whatever you have passed, is taken as the value here. And it is printed accordingly. What is the problem here? The only problem here is that it is printing this bracket, right? It is printing a bracket along with it. If you want to like remove the bracket, is there any way by which we can remove the bracket? Yes, there is a way. What you need to do here is that suppose I am printing, okay, that similar program, we will just see how to remove that bracket here. So see here, we have again taken a function called func2, okay. So this is the argument list, that is the arbitrary argument list, and one more value equal to Monica, okay. So print value, first we are printing Monica. After that, while printing this, use for in loop. What happens here is that one by one these values will be printed, okay. Whatever values you are sending for the variable, this will be printed one by one, so that bracket can be avoided, okay. Now, so this is also any formal parameter which occurs, which occur after the star args parameter are keyword only arguments, okay. That's it, students. Thank you.